15 मिनटं आहेत माझे मॅडम कॉफी तर मला एक तास स्टॅमिना असेल हां मी ठीक आहे का हां आय थिंक इट इज गुड राईट should I start with welcome to Python something what can we me directly starting with the Python okay so today we are going to learn the basics of Python. Python is among the top 10 most used languages in the world. If you search on the Google top 10 most used languages in the world, Python lies in the number 4. With the advance of cloud computing, the use of Python is increasing day by day because Python is used in cloud computing processing. The main point of Python is it is platform independent. That means you can run Python on any platform. It will be Linux, it will be Windows, it will be Palm OS, VS any operating system that supports Python is possible. You just need to install Python on that operating system. Python is a virtual machine on that operating system and you can run Python code. One of the main point of Python is it is platform independent. The use of Python is very Python is used in field development, Python is used in software engineering, Python is used in writing testing scripts, automated testing scripts, Python is used in computer programming, Python is used in desktop UI programming. Virtually Python is used in everywhere, named application, and you can write that application in Python. So let's begin with introduction of Python. The first step in understanding Python is to download Python. There is a website www.python.org. Just open the website and click on the download link. You will see two versions of Python. Python for Windows you will see immediately. If you are using Linux, then you need to scroll down. नाही ना आम्ही अरे का फोन लावून बघा म्हणजे आवाज येत नाही ते कन्फर्म करतो कारण ते व्हायब्रेटही व्हायला नाही पाहिजे ते नवीन घेतलं आहे 9881 कनेक्ट केलं आहे मी ॲक्च्युली and it should not ring and we need to like the 9881 लागतच नाही कोणती वाजून खोकला गेला लागत नाही ना
चेक 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 कर तिकडे. हॅलो हॅलो वेलकम टू पायथन. हॅलो हॅलो वेलकम टू पायथन.
welcome to Millionlights live lecture. My name is Pabla Iraz and we'll be having a live lecture on Python today. Python, which is a very good language, programming language for back-end website development, data analysis and lots more. So there was an era, in like previous era, students used to go to schools and their toolkit used to be pen and notebook. But in today's era, the learners are armed with the toolkits like the laptop, the mobile and the iPod. So in the era of 21st century, there is a lot open resource learning that offers anyone a chance to learn from anywhere and that to anything, and that too without hampering your budget. So we at Millionlights, we are here to help you, and we are such a platform. We are here dedicated to improve the skills and employability of the people. We have our mobile application, we have our website, we have our OTT media as well. So we at Millionlights are having a live lecture today, and for our online courses, we have partnerships with the Sailor as well as a lot of other renowned institutes like IIT Mumbai to name few. We also have our in-house courses which you can get certified and get enhanced in your skills. For our TV courses, we have exclusive partnerships with Microsoft. And today we are having a faculty, Mr. Rahul Thivre. Let me introduce him. So he is someone who is assistant professor in D.Y. Patil Institute of Engineering in Lohegaon, and he is someone who is having 10 years of industry experience. He is also a director of a company named Evra Technology Private Limited, and they have recently launched a product that is examg.com. So we welcome you, sir, on our show, live lecture. So he'll be giving insights on the Python today.
Thank you. So today we are going to start with Python. So today's lecture is to basic introduction of Python and basic building blocks of Python. Python is one of the most used language in the world. It is one of the most famous language in the world. If you search on the Google top 10 most used development languages in the world, you will find Python lies in number 3 or number 4. Python is used in cloud computing development. So as cloud computing is becoming more and more popular, the use of Python is increasing. Python is used in game development, it is used in website development, it is used in developing a scientific application, it is used in desktop GUI programming. So Python is virtually used in every application. Main strength of Python is it is platform independent. That means platforms, let it be any platform, let it be Linux, let it be Windows, let it be Palm OS, let it be VxWorks, Android, iOS. Python runs on all platforms. You just need to download Python on that platform, install it, and then you can use Python. So to begin with, let us start with downloading the Python. So to download Python, you have to go to the website www.python.org. If you click on downloads, you can see two tabs, Python 3.5.2 and Python 2.7.12. Recently they launched next version, that is Python 2.7.13. So it means there are two Python basic versions. One is Python 2.7.x and Python 3.x. There is a syntactical difference between these two. Today we are going to learn Python 2.7.12 or Python 2.7.x. So you can just click on the tab Python 2.7.x and you can download the Python and you can install it. After installing, to run Python, if it is on Linux, then you have to just type Python shell, and if it is on Windows, then you just need to type Python. You can see two options. One is Python command line and second is idle. Idle is Python GUI, that is graphical user interface, and Python command line is just to run Python commands. So if I just click on Python command line, I can see the version of Python which I installed, which is 2.7.13, and on this command line I can run some basic Python commands. Might be multiplication of two numbers, might be addition of two numbers, division of numbers, and so on. I can concatenate two strings. Suppose if I add A and B, so these two characters are concatenated and I get a string AB. So this is Python basic command prompt, Python shell. So to quit from the Python shell, you need to type quit and give brackets because quit is a function in Python. So to run Python, you can click on idle. Second way is idle. If you click on idle, it again opens you a Python shell. On top of it, it gives you flexibility to create new file and write your own program. On Linux, you just need to type Python because Python is built in for many Linux versions. So once you double click on Python, it opens interactive shell. You can run some command on that interactive shell. You can see addition, subtraction, multiplication. Python supports many operators. In this table, I listed few operators. It is star star, that is exponential, then tilde, plus, minus, star, division, that is multiplication, division, modulus operator. This gives you reminder. For example, if I just say might be say 56 mod 10, it should give me 6 because 6 is a reminder. If I just say 67 mod 7, it should give me 4, which is reminder. So it is different than division. If I just divide 67 by 7, it will give me answer 9, and to get reminder I just need to use mod operator. Then Python also supports left shift and right shift, that is bitwise shift operator. Left shift is corresponding to multiplication by 2 and right shift is corresponding to division by 2. That means if you left shift a number by one location, that is you are multiplying that number by 2. If you left shift that number by 2 locations, then that means you are multiplying that number by 4. Python supports bitwise ANDing, bitwise ORing, bitwise XORing. It supports comparison operator and many other operators. So with the help of these operators, let's begin with writing a program on Python. So here in this PPT, I am explaining you how to write a program on Linux platform, and practically I am going to show you how to write and compile a program on Windows platform. Okay, so for Windows platform, I just open Python shell, Python idle. In the file, click on the new file. The new file is created. Now I can write a single command. Might be command is hello world. I have written simple command hello world. Then I can save this as my first program, hello.py. And to run this, go to the run and just say run module. Then on this shell, you can see the program running. So here is the editor. Here you can write any program. I'm initializing any variable u to 45, and to print that variable, I just need to say print space give variable name. Then I saved the program. You can see that after making every change, star appears. It means that the recent changes are not saved. So before I run any program, I need to save all recent changes, and then I can run the module. It's first line, and this is variable is printed. So in the hello world program, we understood two things. First is how to print a string, second is how to initialize a variable, and third is how to print value of that variable. On Linux platform, you can just open in a file, you can use VI editor for that. So VI and then file name, print this hello world and then save that file as might be hello.py or test.py. Py is an extension of Python file, and to run that file you just need to say python space file name. So on Linux, python space file name, it will run the Python program. On Linux, you can actually change the property of that test.py. You can make it executable, and after making it executable, you can just run as /test.py. One of the most interesting thing about Python is compiled language. That means, suppose, take the case of normal C program. Okay, suppose if I have written a C program, might be hello world program, then what I do is I just compile that program, an executable is generated, and I can give that executable to the user. That means if I have written a software, then to give that software to the user, I just need to compile that software and give the executable file to the user. Now, if I have compiled that C program on Windows platform, then exe is generated and user can use that executable on Windows laptops only. Suppose if he want to use it on Linux, then he can't use for Linux. I need to give different compiled version for Linux. Okay. That means from this example we learn two things. First thing is, in case of C program, you are generating executable or .out file for each and every OS, and you are giving that to that user. And second thing is, when you generate executable is actually a binary code. So that means you are hiding your software content, software programs from the user. That's the case with the languages like C, C++, and Java. In case of Python, if you have written some program, might be say test.py, then generally you have to give that .py file to the user. Then if user is running on Linux platform, then he can just type command python space your file name, and then he can execute the program. That means in case of Python, you need to give a Python file to the user. What is the benefit of this? One benefit is it is platform independent. That means if a user has Python installed on his OS, then he can use Python. But the one negative point of this is you are sharing source code with the user. That means if you are sharing a program which is written in English-like languages to the user, then user can misuse it. So how to find solution for this problem? And solution for this problem is creating a bytecode of your Python program and sharing that bytecode with the user. So might be on Linux, you can, to create a bytecode, you can use this command python space -m space compile all space test.py, where test.py is your file name. So this is how you are compiling complete program, and that test code, that is pyc file, this bytecode test.pyc, this extension pyc indicates that it's a bytecode, .py indicates that it's a Python file. So that pyc file you can share with the user. Again, that pyc file is a platform independent. To run this pyc file, again you have to use same way, like python space bytecode file name. This is how you can secure your code and you can share a bytecode with the user. To write Python programs, the most important thing you need is you need Python keywords. Python has two things. One is a keyword, and then there are some built-in functions. Keywords are like words of a language, and built-in functions are like sentences. So sentences are built using words. So Python ready-made gives some word sentences to you. The sentences are built using words. So keywords are like words of a language, and built-in functions are like ready-made sentences of language. To know what are the built-in functions, built-in keywords Python has, you just need to open a Python shell and then say import. You can just say import space keyword, import keyword, and then keyword dot kw. So after typing this, it opens, it gives you all keywords Python supporting. The keywords are and, as, assert, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else, except, exec, finally, for, from, global, if. So we are going to learn few keywords today. Might be if, elif, and else. We are going to learn. We are going to learn Python. We are going to learn in, is, lambda, or, pass, print. We already learned this keyword print, raise, return, try, while, with, and yield. This try used for exception handling. We are not going to learn that today. While we are going to learn today. So with the help of these keywords, you can write down a program. Along with these keywords, Python has many built-in functions. To know built-in functions, again, in the Python shell, you can just type dir into bracket underscore underscore built-in underscore underscore. And to know details of those built-in functions, you can use help. So let me type the same. So these are the different built-in functions. These built-in functions are written using Python keywords. And to know details of each and every built-in function, you can just say help built-in. So after typing this help, you'll get details of each and every built-in function. You can redirect this to some file, this output, and you can use that file as a reference. So with the help of some built-in functions and keywords and knowing some basic operators, you can write Python programs. So for programming, another thing you need is you need some basic building blocks of program, that is how conditional code executes, how to write a conditional code, and how to write loops. These are the next two important things you need to know the Python programming. So let us learn conditional code first, and then we are going to learn while and for loop as well. If else. If else is used for conditional code. The format of if else is if, then write condition, give colon, then indented statement block for this condition. If this condition is true, then this code is executed. Important is this code should be indented. And if the condition is false, then it will go in else. So let us write some example code with this. So I written some ready-made code in order to speed up the process. The code is very simple. I am asking user to enter mark. So the input function is used to get input from the user. So there are two functions used for I/O. For getting input from the user, that means user is going to type on the keyboard. So to get input from the keyboard, you can use input function, and to give output to the user, you can use this print function. So input is used for input and print is used for output. So I am asking user to enter the mark. Whatever the number user has written, user has entered, that number is saved in a variable called IP. Now, if that IP is less than 40, then I am declaring that the student is failed in exam. If IP is more than 40 or more than 40, then I am declaring that student is passed in first class. So I can save this file. This file is already saved. You cannot see star here. That means file is saved. And to run this file, I am just going in the run the module. Then a Python shell is opened. First statement is executed. Enter marks. If I write some marks, might be 45, and press enter, then gives me result as I am passed in first class. Now here the most important thing is indentation. It is 6 space far from this end. This print has to be 6 space far from this end. So if I just change the spaces and if I try to run the program, then it won't understand. So indentation is very important in Python. There is error in program. The program error is expected an indented block. So it means that if then print, else then print. Now this print and this print both should be indented. That means either I need to make sure that both are indented by same amount. Now I can run the program. Enter the mark. I am entering 34 marks. It is giving me result that it is failed in exam. Along with if else, you can use elif statement as well. Suppose if the student has marks in between, might be say 40 to 60, then I can declare that student failed in second class, student passed in second class, else student is passed in first class. I just save this. If, elif and else. If I run this, enter the marks. If I am entering number 55, then it gives me answer as student passed in second class. That means this part of code is executed. So this is if. Elif is same as else if, and else is executed when if and elif both fail. So this is about first building block, that is conditional statement. Important thing to understand is indented statement. Both the statements should be indented. Otherwise, Python gives you error. In the if else, you can use many conditions, like less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, and so. Python, they have ready-made function known as true and false. So if I just write say some condition as if true, then it means that this condition is true and always this code is executed, because this is permanently 1. So in this case, always first statement is executed because true means 1. So if I just save this file, might be xyz.py, and if I execute this file, then it will always open test, because This 2 means 1. After condition statement, next is loop. Python supports two loops. One is while loop and second is for loop. The syntax of while loop is while, then expression, colon, then statement. Syntax for loop is for iterating variable in a sequence, write down different statements. So let us take small example of while loop. Format of while loop we have seen, it is while, expression, and then statements. Let us see one example program. I written that program. So let me open that program with idle. So I initiated a number to 0 while that number is less than 9. I am printing the count and I am incrementing the number. Remember, in the while loop I am manually incrementing the number. You can see this code, this line here. After every iteration I am incrementing the number. Now this line and this line, that means both the statements, they are intended by same amount. That means they are part of while loop, while this statement indentation is different. That means that is all, this is not part of while loop. So part of while loop, these two statements, they are part of while loop. So actually what I am doing is, if the number is less than 9, then I am just printing that number. If I run the code, then it is writing numbers between 0 to 8. The moment number becomes 9, it exits from that while loop. Similar to while loop, next loop is for loop. For iterating variable in a sequence, then you are writing statement. That means that variable should be in a sequence. So to know this, first we need to understand function range. If I just write range 3, then it is writing all numbers between 0 to 3. So with the help of this range, now I am writing a program. I am opening a program with for loop. So I am initializing number to 10 for a number in this sequence. So this range is nothing but it is going to print 4 numbers, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So first initially the number will be 10, then automatically number will become 11, then next is number will become 12, then number will become 13. Here I am not at all incrementing number, because this number will take one variable. The number is assigned to one variable in this sequence. So if I run this program, then it just prints number 10, 11, 12 and 13, because number is taking first value as 10, then 11, then 12 and then 13. So that means iterating variable number is in sequence 10, 11, 12 and 13. I am not at all incrementing the number. So in this code, if I try to modify the variable, see here before number was 10 initially. Now I am modifying that number. The number is going to become 14. I am printing that number. Now let's see what happens if I run this code. If I run this code, initially the number is 10, then number becomes 14. I am printing 14. Then when execution comes to the first, then again number is assigned with value 11. So it forgets that it was 14. In the next iteration, number is assigned with next iterating variable in a sequence. The number is assigned value 11. I am again modifying the number, but when again execution reaches to the for, it again assigns number with next value in a sequence. So the difference between while loop and for loop here is, in while loop you have to manually increment a number, and in case of for loop, a number takes one value in a sequence. So with the help of basic operators, with the help of keywords, with the help of built-in functions, with the help of conditional statements, and with the help of while and for loop you can write small program using Python. The programs might be writing a Fibonacci series. A program might be displaying a table of number. So that's all for the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us the insights on this Python language. And I'm sure our viewers would be helpful by this. And I want to let you know that Mr. Rahul Bhivre is our faculty also for the Python in our course in Millionlights. So if you want to get the detailed hands-on this language, you can enroll for the course and register for it and get certified as well. I also want to let you know that we have our TV channel on NextGen as well as the DEN network, and the channel number for NextGen is 483 and for DEN is 515. So stay tuned to Million Lights. We'll be taking a short break, and if you have any questions, you can ask us. Sir will be answering it after in the question and answer session. Stay tuned to Million Lights, and we'll welcome you back after this short break. Hello and welcome back to Millionlights live lecture after a short break. I am Pabla Iraz and we have Mr. Rahul Bhivre with us, who is giving us insights on Python. So we'll start with a question and answer round now. We have a lot of questions from our viewers, and if you have any question you can ask us and we'll answer you. So we have a question from Ms. Jasleen Cordelon. How to perform binary arithmetic using Python?
So there are 4 numbering systems, that is binary, octal, hex and normal decimal. So if you want to like initialize a number to a binary value, then you have to write 0b. So if I write 1010 and if I write 1010 as 0b1010, then it is considered as binary number. So if I just write 1010, then it is considered as a decimal number. So here this blue line indicates that it's a decimal output. If I am writing normally 1010, then it is treated as a normal decimal number, but if I write 0b1010, then it is treated as binary number. So suppose if you want to perform addition of two binary number, might be 1010 plus 0b1010, I can just say 0b1010 plus 0b1010, it gives me answer in decimal. If I want answer in binary, then I need to write 0b1010 plus 0b1010 and I get answer in binary. The addition of 1010 plus 1010 is 10100. It is in binary. So if I don't mention anything, then Python throws output in decimal number. If I mention it, then it throws output in binary number. So for octal number, you just need to write 0 and then give any octal number. So if I just write 013, then it is considered as a 13 octal. So if I just write 013 plus 013, again it gives me answer 22 in decimal. If I just say oct and then if I add 013 plus 013, then it gives me answer in octal. Similarly, if I want answer in binary, then what I just need to say is bin and then add two octal numbers. So you can add any two octal numbers, you can display result in binary. For hex, you just need to say hex. Instead of binary, just write hex. It gives me answer in hex. Okay, and you can see here that hex number starts with 0x. So that means we studied 4 number system. First number system is normal decimal. You can just type a number just the way you have written here. If it is a binary number, then you have to start number with 0b. If it is an octal number, then you have to start number with 0. And if it is a hex number, then you have to start number with 0x. And by default, addition, it gives you answer in decimal. But if you want answer in some other numbering system, then specifically you have to specify using oct, bin and hex functions. So you can add any two hex numbers, might be 0xAA plus 0xBB, and you can display the result in oct by using oct function.
Okay.
I hope I answered your question.
So that means we have to write the function and then we have to write whatever we want to do.
That's right, that's right.
Okay, so we'll take up the next question. So we have a question from our viewer Samrendra Tiwari. How to write infinite loop?
Oh, for infinite loop, you need to use while loop and you just need to say true. For example, if I write while and then specifically I give value true, because in Python this true is considered as 1. So this condition is true and here I can use that infinite loop. So if I run the program, then it will continue to print infinite multiple times. You can use while true or you can just say while 1, but while true is preferred. True is considered as 1, but remember here in true T should be capital. If I save this program and if I run the program, then it will display print infinite multiple times. Okay, to break it, I just need to say Control C. These infinite loops are mainly used in operating system as well as in client server models, client server programming, in socket programming, that is network programming. This infinite loop is very much useful in writing programs stands for cloud computing, because the processes should not die. You want to perform some function, might be printing some value or doing some calculations infinite times. Continuously you have to do. In that case, you are going to use while loop.
Okay. So, and you just told that T should be in capital. So, what if T is not in capital? So,
if T is not in capital, then Python won't recognize this as true. If you just write like this, then you cannot run the program. It will throw you error. The error is true is not defined.
okay.
So in this case, I just need to specifically mention true as some number. I need to initialize this true to some value, might be say 1. Now, so this true is treated as normal variable. If I just write T capital, then it is inbuilt Python variable true for 1.
Okay. Alright, so we'll take up another question. What star star operator does?
Star star operator is, it gives you the exponential. Okay, so many people get confused with star operator and star operator. If I just use star operator, then it gives you multiplication of 6 and 8. But if I just use say star star operator, then it gives me 6 raised to 8. Okay, the numbers are big, so let us take 2 star star 3. That means 2 raised to 3, it should give you answer as 8. 2 into 3, it will give you answer as 6. So star star is raised to operator.
Okay. So if you use just star, it will give you multiplication, and
star gives you the raised to.
Okay. So, and we have another question from Mr. Shashank Yadav, that what is the difference between Python 2.7.x and 3.x?
Oh yeah. So there are two major versions of Python. One is 2.7.x and 3.x. 2.7.x was original Python version, where actually indentation was useful, was a differentiating factor for a group of statements. In case of Python 3.x, each and every block of statement is included in parentheses. 3.x has few extra features than 2.x. 3.x is actually future of Python, but let's see some technical differences between Python 2.x and 3.x. It's 2.7.x and Python 3.x. Python 2, to print any value, you can just say print space value name, the variable name, and in case of Python 3, you have to use parentheses. In Python 2, 4 divided by 3 gives you a value, that is 1. We have seen that. We divided 67 by 7 and gave us answer 9. So that means it just gives you the value. But in case of Python 3, it gives you float answer. And in case of Python 3, if you want answer in real numbers, then you have to use // That means double division. 4 divided by 3. 4/3 will give you answer 1. In case of Python 2, 4/3 will give you answer 1. In case of Python 3, 4/3 gives you answer as 1 dot multiple 3s. Next difference is input, how it takes input from the user. If you want user, whatever the input user is giving, you have to take it as it is, then you have to use raw input. In case of Python 3, it uses input. To open any file in Python 2, you have to use file. In case of Python 3, you have to use open. Python 2 uses X range for a bigger range, and in case of Python 3, it uses just range. Now here I explain the difference with more explanation with examples. In Python 2, I can just write print, the answer is 42. Output is answer is 42. In case of Python 3, you have to write print and then bracket. Inside bracket, you have to write the statements. So bracket is important. Next is in case of Python 2, if you just write print, does nothing, then it is treated as new line. In case of Python 3, it is print and then empty bracket, that gives you new line. Here I explained you how Python 2 works. If I just give 4.3, answer is 1 actually. 3.3, it will give you answer 1. If I write 4.0/if, so that means if 4 is treated as a float, 4 is written as float, then answer is So any one variable, in case of Python 2, any one variable is float, then it will give you answer in float. In case of Python 3, by default answer is in float, and if you want answer specifically in real numbers, then you have to integers, then you have to write //. Next is about raw input. So if you want to take string input from the user, then in case of Python 2 you have to use the raw input. For number input you can use only input functions, but if you want to take raw string input from the user in Python 2, you have to use function raw input. In case of Python 3, input function does that job. So input function in case of Python 3, it takes input as an integer as well as string. In Python 2, to open a file, so here in case of Python 2, suppose if you want to print every line of that file, myfile.txt, then you can just, for every line in the file, you can print a line. But in case of Python 3, you have to first open a file, then all the contents of my file are stored in my file variable. This file is by default open as read only attributes. A file has multiple attributes, like it could be read only, it could be write, and it could be appended. Here file is opened as read only file. All the contents of file are assigned to a big variable my file, and for each and every line in the my file you are printing a line. So that means in Python 3 you have to give attributes of file opening attributes as well. You have to specify the file opening attributes. So these are the three major differences between Python 2.7.x and Python 3.x.
I hope that was clear. And we have another question. Before that, I want to ask our viewers to ask more and more questions. Sir is here to answer all the queries. And I want to let you know about the referral program as well. We have recently started a referral program. You can refer your friends and you will be getting a discount if you refer to your friends, and your friend will also be getting a discount. So both of you will be benefited by that. So we'll take up another question. Do we have the different loops like do, while, for, as in like other programming languages?
Yes, in Python we have while as well as for loop, and yes, we have do while loop in Python, but generally people prefer while loop and for loop.
Okay. So, but we have it.
Yes, and the basic difference in Python and C language is, okay, both have while loop, but in Python you have while else loop as well.
Okay.
That means suppose I initialize a number to 0, and while number is less than 9, I am printing the number. But the moment this condition fails, that means number becomes 9, that time I can print this statement might be number is 9 and out of loop. So this else condition is printed when this condition fails. So while else is another difference between Python and C language.
All right. And I want to know one more thing. How much time it takes to learn this language?
To master a language, it will take 3 to 4 months, because the language is vast. So basic building blocks are small. Within might be 10 days you can learn basic building blocks, basic programming of the language. But if you want to develop a game using Python, then you must know the game library, because main strength of Python is too much built-in support, too much function or library support, because Python is open source. So many people are working on the Python. So they are developing a big libraries on Python. So if you want to develop say game program, if you want to develop your own game, then it is better that you should use the game related libraries which are developed by other people. So getting right help, knowing that what tools, what powers of Python I can use, it takes little time and experience.
If you want to master it, will take some time, but 3 to 4 months is good enough to go.
It's good enough to go to develop a professional program. If you just want to write a small program, even 10 days is fine.
I'll come and take classes from you for that. All right, so we have one more question. Do we have the different loops that we already answered? So how to add the comment in a code?
To add comment in a code, you can use hash. So this is comment. So if I run this, then this line is ignored by the Python. To add multi-line comment, you can use dot 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 and dot dot dot, 3 dots. So this is multi-line comment. So hash is for single line comment and 3 dots are for multi-line comments.
Okay. And we have a question that, let me just check it. How to write the nested loop?
Oh, okay. So I have written a small program on nested loop. So here what I am doing is I am taking input from the user. I am taking 2 input from the user, minimum and maximum. And for a number in the range of minimum to max, I am just checking whether that number is prime or not. So I am just displaying prime numbers between minimum and maximum. So here I have written nested for loop. This is basic for loop and this is another for loop, and inside this for loop I use this if. Here indentation varies. So this else is for this for loop. So the moment this for loop ends, then this else is executed. So using different indentation, I can use the nested loops. If I execute this program, then it will ask me the minimum range might be say 2, maximum might be 34, and it displays all number between 2 to 34. The logic is very simple. If number mod division is 0, then you have to break, where the division takes value between 2 to the number. Okay. Anyway, so logic, explaining logic is not today's aim. Today's aim is to see how to write nested loops. So the nested loops you can write this way with indentation, different indentation.
Okay. And I'm just curious to know that like HTML is used for the front-end development. So what are the basic uses of this Python language? What all we can use it for?
Okay, Python is mainly used like PHP and Python. They can use in the backend development. Might be you have to like integrate with database. You can use Python.
Okay. All right. So that's all for today. And I hope this lecture was insightful. And we'll be back again with the next time with one more interesting topic. And before concluding, I would like to tell a short story about a girl and about how open resource learning can change the life of someone. So there was a girl named Christy, and she belonged to a poor family. She couldn't attend the college because she didn't have that much financial resources, but it was her dream to become a software engineer. And guess what? She did a lot of research. She came to know about open resource learning, and she used to go to her friend's place to access internet, and she enrolled for courses like programming, Java programming, Python programming, C++, and lot more. And you would be amazed to know that she was placed in one of the best companies in IT. So this is how substantial can be the advantages of open resource learning, and Millionlights is there to help you always enhancing your skills and help you gaining the employability as well. So I would like to conclude with this note, and keep watching Millionlights TV. If you have any queries, you can write to us at support@millionlights.org. You can give us a missed call at 022-3077-8274. You can comment on our website. Apart from that, you can also connect with us on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. And thank you so much. Signing off, Pabla Iraz, and keep watching Millionlights TV.